Soldier who called on troops to refuse vaccine distribution faces mutiny-related charge.
Here's a summary of the article.
A soldier who called on his fellow military personnel to refuse helping with the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines has been charged with an offense related to mutiny. I'm asking military, right now serving, truck drivers, medical, engineers, whatever you are, do not take this unlawful order the distribution of this vaccine, Kenderesi said at the rally. Kenderesi, who had a civilian hunting knife strapped to his Canadian Forces uniform and was carrying a non-Canadian helmet, questioned the safety of the vaccine. The page also stated that Kenderesi faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted, but defense sources say such punishment is highly unlikely. Ottawa lawyer Michel Drapeau said the laying of a charge related to mutiny is unheard of in the Canadian Forces in modern times. Kenderesi remains in the military pending the outcome of the charges, the Canadian Forces noted. Shortly after the rally in December, Canadian Forces officials retrieved Kenderesi's uniform and military-issued equipment.
This post received a score of 37,000, with an upvote ratio of 90%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
And this officer was in charge of training cadets.
Just to clarify any confusion, officer cadet is a real rank in Canada, for most officers in the Air Force and Army that haven't yet completed their first level of officer training or are attending Royal Military College. The bulk of officer cadets have nothing to do with cadets. A long time ago cadet instructors were real military officers, but it hasn't been that way since the 70s I think. The Sea cadets do sailing things, Army cadets do Army things and Air cadets do pilot things.
We weren't infrequently dealing with issues arising from CIC being out of line, and also from CIC wanting regular soldiers' charges for various things related to dress, deportment or other issues. I suspect you nailed this particular issue right here. The guy obviously has attitude, and it's looking like the military is going to attitude him back, good and hard. I mean, that guy stupidly blundered across just about the fattest red line a military has, any military. The ranger that tried to arrest Trudeau while in possession of multiple weapons will probably get off with less.
My mum was one of those CIC officers who acted like real service members should respect her rank, feels entitled to benefits, discounts for veterans, etc. She was an officer for an Army Cadet Corps but acted like she was equally trained, qualified as an actual military officer. I was in Air, Sea and Army cadets between ages 13 to 18, so I'm very familiar with the Canadian Forces cadet program.
As someone more familiar with the term cadet south of the border, would you mind clarifying a few things for me? Stateside, a cadet is a college student in the Reserve Officer Training Corps, who upon graduating will be a new officer for their respective branch. They're instructed by active duty military members, both enlisted and officers, so hearing of a quasi-military, not quite an officer, instructor rank sounds pretty odd to me. Also, is it strictly a "I'm going into the military" thing? Parts of it almost sounds like the Scouts program, what with camping and life skills and all, which isn't military related at all.
I'm not sure the history of it, or why the officers are even commissioned in the military at all, but it is more similar to Scouts than a path for going into the military thing. I know 4 others who did, and only one went into the military. Kids who were interested in the military could try it out on the small scale. It is also common for judges to send juvenile delinquents or truants to the cadets to teach them a little bit of discipline.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.